I'm Sarah Clark. I work at Alice at 97.3. I've been doing the morning show there with my partner Vinny for 15 years, since we moved here in 1997, my husband and I. I got into radio when I was working at my dad's factory in the 80s, and it was miserable work. I actually had to sand little parts that had been painted, and then I'd sand them and do quality control, and I'd wrap them and I'd ship them, and it was miserable, dusty, awful work. And I would have my headphones on all day long, and I would listen to this station in Boston called WBCM, and I had to get up crack of dawn. I drove in and I listened to this morning show with Charles Laquadera, The Big Mattress. That was his big morning show. So they used to advertise for a broadcasting school, and I said, I have got to get out of here. And I think I was probably 22 or something. And so I decided to take classes at this place. After I had graduated, I wrote to this guy at WBCN and said, I'd love to come in and see the station. And he said, we have an internship program. So I worked for him for almost 2 years for free as an intern. And I learned more in those 2 years than I have in the rest of... I still refer back to things that I learned there about how you interview people, how you talk on the radio, what matters, what doesn't. And I learned a lot of production skills there, and just a lot of sort of really hands-on, because it was a morning show and it's crazy and it's constantly changing. So that was how I got into it. It is a weird schedule because I am involved far less in my kids' lives than probably most people are. I mean, my husband, John, I'm gone in the morning. I'm gone at 4:20 in the morning. So he gets them up, he gets them ready for school. He knows whose clothes are whose. When I'm doing the laundry, I'm like, I just put all kid clothes in one pile because I have no idea whose belong to whose. So he takes care of getting them to school, and then I'm with them in the afternoons, but after dinner, I'm getting ready for the next day. I've got, my homework that I have to do. That never ends. And then I'm asleep. I try to be asleep by 8 or 8:30 every night so that I can get up at 4-ish. So it's fine though. We have our little routine. It works out okay. The difficult thing for me with having kids in this school system, and everybody, a lot of people have heard the show and listen. The difficult thing is that I have spent so much of my career talking about my family, and it hasn't been a problem. But now I have a teenager who, it's not the coolest thing in the world to have your mom talking about. I have to really watch it. I can't tell all his little embarrassing moments that when he was 5, who cared, right? His friends didn't know. But now some of his friends and their moms or dads actually listen, so it's a little bit dicier. And they've been annoyed at me for revealing things, and my husband's certainly been annoyed at me over the years for it. My younger son thinks it's cooler. He's like, oh, hey, you know who my mom is? So he's definitely used that in situations to get himself in good with somebody, or if he can make it work for him, he will. But my older son, he doesn't. I'm just the embarrassing mom, like everybody's mom is embarrassing.